This is TWiT.
Line 1, Alan, Spring, Texas. Hello, Alan.
Hi, Leo.
Welcome. What can I do for you?
It was the second time I got into you, so I'm glad it was a slow weekend so I can get
You're a miracle man.
I tell you. Kind of an IT guy down here, but my primary duties, I work with PCs. I love them because they break down and keep me employed by using that.
There's definitely a higher percentage of PC calls on this show for whatever reason, yeah.
Yeah. I have a MacBook Pro 2015, last grade of the wonders, and had it for a while. I was wanting to get your opinion on things like CCleaner for basically just kind of doing some spring cleaning on it. I was looking today about something called Mac Keeper, and then something flagged that said it was shareware virus type of thing.
I am not a fan of Mac Keeper. I wouldn't call it a virus, but it's definitely not. There are other. It's really kind of interesting. Maybe this reflects on what you said about PCs needing more help. There aren't a lot of really good Mac maintenance tools, and truthfully, I don't think you need them. But on the other hand, I'm the wrong guy to ask because I don't like CCleaner either. I don't think you need to clean your registry on a PC either. So
right.
Modern operating systems shouldn't need a lot of help. The one time you might want a utility is if the drive dies, if you lose files, and then you might want a low-level utility that can examine the hard drive and recover erased files. But things that are like maintenance, like disk optimizers, don't need them anymore. CCleaner, registry cleaners don't need it anymore. There are a lot of Mac tools that are, supposedly clean the caches, don't need them anymore. Even Apple's own Disk First Aid, which is practically all the utility you need. It's in the utility folder in the applications folder. Disk Utility has a cleaning routine or a disk, they call it disk fix routine, or now I think they call it repair. And even that's done less and less over the years. In the old days, mostly what it is went through and fixed permissions because Apple's kind of like a Unix operating system and has disk file access permissions that can be changed by accident by programs, and sometimes that can cause problems. For instance, if a preference file gets locked, then a program won't be able to save its preferences and will misbehave. So the disk utility did little kind of minor maintenance like that. I don't even think you need that anymore. So honestly, I would stay unless you have a problem. I would stay away from it. There are some Mac tools that have been around since forever that I would perhaps recommend, depending on what you need to do. Some of them are free. There's disk cache, cache utilities and things like that. I hesitate even recommending these. They tend to be expensive. AlSoft makes a disk recovery tool that's okay. I just don't think you need it, to be honest. So you're new to Macs. Is that the issue?
Well, I got about maybe 2 or 3 years in Macs and over 20 years in PCs. So I'm kind of a newbie in my own mind, but I'm also thinking with Mojave coming out, it's kind of a moot point because if I go with a free clean installation, then that's just,
You're fresh. Yeah, and both Windows and Mac OS have done a really good job of creating operating system restore routines and repair routines that eliminate the need for a lot of third-party disk utilities. So, I mean, there's Disk Warrior, which has been around for an awfully long time. That's the AlSoft program. It's at alsoft.com. But it's, I don't know if it's worth spending $100 on something you probably really don't need. There's quite a question about these days in the Mac world, but I think it also should be in the PC world. Do you need something like this? And it's, in my opinion, probably not. And when you do, you should, you'll get the proprietary tool you'll need, I guess. Apple's disk utility is sufficient.
Yeah, because I don't even really run any kind of virus software on it.
I don't either. You don't need it either. No. I'm one of those guys who says the less you install, the better. Every program you install on your computer potentially opens backdoors to bad guys, adds flaws, security issues, and it's particularly true of utilities, low-level things like antivirus software and disk utilities, because typically they'll hook into, in the Mac case, the kernel, Actually, it's true in Windows too. They'll hook into the lower level parts of the operating system, which means they can be really a bad avenue for bad guys. The other one that's widely used is called TechTool Pro. Again, I'll give them to you for your reference. We'll put links in the show notes, but I don't think you need it. If you have a disk issue at some point, then go get Disk Warrior and you'll be fine.
Okay. What about, I guess, other than coming to, TWiT, which I look at all your programs.
Thank you.
MacBreak Weekly.
Thank you.
iOS Today.
Yeah.
Other than that, I keep up with Patrick Norton over there on his Tech Thing.
Tech Thing is his podcast, TEKTHING, and he's very good at that.
Yeah.
We may differ, sometimes we'll differ on recommendations. I mean, that's the thing. No geek agree, not all geeks agree on any of this stuff. And I fall on the side of install less.
Yeah. And
do less. Especially nowadays, modern operating systems have really been refined. Apple now is using a new file system, the APFS, which really is great and has long been needed. And eventually, Apple's going to turn on some of the features of APFS that'll make it even less necessary for disk utilities. There's a snapshot feature that allows you to do a backup, much better than Time Machine, a backup of an existing setting and quickly go back to it. It's a more modern style file system, a copy-on-write file system that, frankly, is superior to NTFS. I'm sure Microsoft at some point will do this as well. So these things, and by the way, the fact that APFS, if you install Mojave and you have an internal drive, it'll almost certainly be reformatted as APFS, means that some of these tools like Disk Warrior may not even work anymore. It's a whole new world for them. So,
yeah.
Well, I would say just stick with the stuff the company gives you, and you're probably going to be fine. More important, as you know, don't install stuff from strangers. Don't install programs you didn't ask for. Don't click links in email. Don't click links in messaging or on Facebook. And if any time a program says, oh, you need to download this, be suspicious. Even if it's Adobe Flash, oh, you need an update. Be suspicious. Make sure you're getting it from Adobe. And most of the time, that's where people get in trouble, not because their registry got too big. So that's the best thing to do. And the less you install, the better. That's a kind of my new philosophy. I've been refining this over the last 4 decades of doing this. But I think this is the right philosophy. The more you install, the more risk you add to unreliability and even security flaws. Install less. Only install just the stuff you need. And if there's any question, don't install it. Don't install it.